Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 30. As always, here's our disclosures. This content is for educational purposes only. I'm not providing any investment advice. This information is not tailored to any one individual, and everybody must understand their time horizon in trading and investing. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments involve risk. And here's this week's agenda. We're going to cover the news. I'm going to provide a quick market overview over the indices, and earnings season is in full season. We started with the banks last week, and we got 631 companies reporting this week. So it's going to be a busy week, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Following our results for week 29, went 2 and 3 in stocks, 4 and 1 in options, and no entry on 28 zones. In progress, if you took those trades, PNC, PLD, and USB are either in progress or working into the zones. Here's what the earnings outlook look like. Again, we got a lot of companies reporting, so we got a lot of opportunities this week. So stay on your toes. Went ahead and I updated our stocks. So 45 and 33 on the year. And went ahead and updated our options, and we're 87 and 20 on the year. Moving into our news for the week, as you can see on Monday, there is no news. However, we do have earnings kicking off Monday morning, so be cognizant of that. Additionally, no news on Tuesday affecting the U.S. markets. So news will start on Wednesday for those of you trading forex and futures. Understand that the euro will be affected early in the morning, and so will the British pound. 15 minutes after the open, the Canadian dollar and the US will be affected. So be cognizant of that for those of you trading forex and future once again. And we got our flash manufacturing PMI report 15 minutes after the open on Wednesday. We also have a press conference for the Canadian dollar on Wednesday. So that is going to do it for the Wednesday news. Moving on to Thursday, we got GDP and unemployment claims pre-market, so that should cause volatility into the open. And then on Friday, we have our core PCE pre-market as well, so it might cause some volatility on the market open. Moving into the chart, starting with the S&P 500, also known as the SPX for the cash. It's been a long time, but we finally have supply in the markets. We had a nice 3% drawdown. I don't know if this was just a pullback for earnings season coming up with some of the big boys starting to report. However, again, this is just everybody's freaking out. This was just a 3% pullback, and that first demand zone I have for you is going to be 54.41.47 to 5400. If this level breaks, we're going to go ahead and fill this gap at 53.58 to 53.25. On the supply side, 56.42.53 to 56.75.23. Moving on to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq had a healthier pullback. The S&P had a 3%. However, the Nasdaq had a 6%. 6%. Understand that this level is going to be an aggressive level as tech. There's been sector rotation and a lot of things coming out of tech and a lot of money leaving tech. So that first level I have for you is 19,469 to 19,325. In the event of an overshoot, we should close this gap and put us even around that 19,000 area. So that level for you I have is 19,080 to 18,921. On the supply side, 2370 to 2592. Moving on to the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is stronger and the rut is stronger than the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. However, it did have a turn, not as sharply as tech and the S&P 500. So I'm not declaring any supply in the Dow Jones. With that being said, the first level I have for you on the demand side is 376.06 to 370.18. Moving on to the good old rut. So the rut went ahead and finally broke that previous level from last week. However, it has levels holding above it. This level is already pretty much working. We got the 2195 to 2290. And then if this happens to break, we got the 2388.90 to 2421. So do not be surprised if the rut for the remainder of the year starts staying stagnant again between these two levels, this level and this the 2050. With that being said, that's going to cover our indices. Let's move into earnings for the week, starting on Monday with Verizon. So on the demand side, I got 36.37, 35.26. And then we got 43.20 to 44.75 on the supply side. Moving on to a bigger day on Tuesday. Let's start with Spotify. On the supply side, we got 348.79 to 388.54. On the demand side, 208.29 to 201.86. Moving on to UPS. So UPS on the demand side, I got 119.90 for you and 112.45. On the supply side, 166.37 to 172.79. Next company I have for you is GE. So this level's been holding GE for quite some time. That level is going to be 164.74 to 192.44 on the supply side. And on the demand side, we got 94.20 to 84.20. Moving on to GM. So General Motors on the demand side, we got 36.62 to 34.18. And on the supply side, we got 50.11 to 55.43. In the event of an overshoot, you got 60 to 67.15. Moving on to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. I have no supply for you on Coca-Cola. First demand zone I have for you is 60.61 to 59.69. In the event of an overshoot, we got 54.98 to 53.84. Next company I have for you is Freeport. On the supply side, 50.52 to 52 even, and on the demand side, 40.73 to 39.28. Next company I have for you is Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, this level has held for several times. So that level is going to be 478.64 to 484.13 on the supply side. In the event of an overshoot, we got the 494.64 to 508.54. On the demand side, we got 407.85 to 388.51. Next company I have for you is Comcast. So Comcast got a couple of levels on supply. We got 44.72 by 45.78, and then another level right on top of it. It's going to be 46.19 to 47.18. On the demand side, we got 35.32 to 34.35. One of the big ones for Tuesday, we got Tesla coming out of the Mag 7. On the demand side, we got 193.66 to 199.51, and on the supply side, we got 289.16 to 299.89. Next company I got for you is Google. Also, still on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, still on Tuesday. Supply 189.07 to 191.85, and on the demand side, 156.47 to 153.86. Next company I have for you is Enphase. On the demand side, 93.39 to 88.50. In the event of an overshoot, we got 79.65 to 73.37. On the supply side, we got 150.02 to 156.71. Next company is Visa. So Visa, let's get rid of this level as it's worked too many times. So on the supply side, I got 289.66 to 291.06. And on the demand side, we got 245.47 to 240.97. Next company is Texas Instruments. No supply for you on Texas Instrument. Their all-time high was 210.84. On the demand side, we got 179.28 to 172.16. Moving on to Wednesday, first company I have for you is AT&T. On the supply side, we got 19.43 to $20 even. On the demand side, we got 15.96 to 15.45. Next company I have for you is Chipotle. So on the demand side, we got 50.12 to 47.82. On the supply side, 68.38 to 69.37. Next company is Ford. So on the demand side for Ford, we got 11.96 to 11.54, and on the supply side, 14.93 to 15.40. Next company I got for you is IBM. So IBM on the supply side, you can see this level has started to work. Not sure if it's going to hold throughout the week, so be mindful of this level. We got 187.66 to 193.97. In the event of an overshoot before the week comes, we got 199.43 to 207. On the demand side, we got 144.67 to 141.48. This company I have for you is Las Vegas Sands. So as you can see, this level has been holding. We got the 41.13 to 38.95 on the demand side. And on the supply side, we got 52.40 to 55.79. Next company I have for you is Whirlpool. So for Whirlpool on the demand side, we got 88.90 to 78.56, and on the supply side, 135.07 to 138.95. Waste Management is the next company I have for you. Is at pretty much all-time highs. First demand zone I have for you is at 199.56 to 195.84. Moving on to Thursday, got ABBV for you. On the demand side, we got 155.29 to 151.31. On the supply side, 179.35 to 182.95. Next company I have for you is Honeywell. So for Honeywell, on the supply side, we got 227.29 to 234.67. And on the demand side, 189.03 to 183 even. Next company I have for you is Southwest Airlines. So on the demand side, 25.25 to 24.02. And on the supply side, 35.46 to 37.60. Next company I have for you is Skechers. The demand side, we got 58.29 to 55.60, and on the supply side, 72.06 to 75.17. Next company I have for you is Deck. On the demand side, 777.69 to 736.56, and on the supply side, 1,061 to 1108.76. And finally, moving on into Friday, we got 3M reporting. On the supply side, we got 116.79 to 120.38, and on the demand side, 90.33 to 85.42. And the last company I have for you is SAIA Trucking Company. And on the supply side, we got 515.48 to 552.95, and on the demand side, 299.25 to 242.88. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us for the charts this week. We have a lot of companies reporting. While there may not be a lot of news, there will be a lot of earnings. And as always, here is my contact information. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me. Check out the website for upcoming courses I have. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and do so and hit that like and subscribe button. For those of you not following me on social media, go ahead and do so that you can see updates and trades as I post throughout the week. With that being said, till next time, happy trading.